Hi, I'm Becky Lodge of Startup Disruptors, and today I'm with the fantastic Sarah Jane Black, who's come to talk to me a little bit about her business. Sarah Jane is actually one of our subscribing VIP members at the Startup Disruptors early stage startup and small business community. What we do is we help people to start and scale up their business from home. So it doesn't matter whether you start in your kitchen or your garage, we can help, and we're a community and a tribe that can help support you on your early stage journey. So that's the end of the plug from me. I don't want to be doing all the talking today, so I'm going to hand over to the fantastic Sarah Jane Black. So Sarah, could you firstly just tell us a little bit about your business, please?
Yes, by all means. Hello everyone, I'm Sarah. My business is SB Business Services. I'm target mainly small business enterprises and sole traders, anything from 50 employees downwards really. And I'm there to support businesses to solve any issues they might have, to create more value and maximize their growth. In that, I literally can do anything from starting at the top, gap analysis, all the way down to your general operations and business support, really. But you're just paying for exactly what you need.
So in terms of business right now, we know that we're in a kind of a sticky time at the moment with regard to timing. So what do you think the main challenges are going to be for businesses in the next sort of 6 to 12 months or so, Sarah?
I think the biggest challenges for businesses will be, I appreciate we got extended furlough. No one will really know whether we're going to have another lockdown. There's going to be monumental change for next year, I feel that the most important thing is to try and be proactive and get those businesses to plan and safeguard themselves for those possible changes that are going to happen. I think the biggest thing will be cash flow. And that's where I feel that my business will help, because I can support them as and when they need it. So they're not paying out lots of money or having to recruit any more people. I also feel that the people that are luckily still employed, because there are obviously lots that haven't been and have lost their jobs, I think that all of those people will be have a lot more demand upon them. And I think that with that greater demand will increase sickness and stress in businesses. And I think that business owners need to look at that and think, okay, I need to look after the staff I've got, but actually I might need someone 1 or 2 hours a week. I might need them to cover my sickness or a holiday or something like that, which we all still have and we all still take. And I think that's where I can help and support them too.
I think one of the key things that we've been looking at, and especially in terms of some of the research that I've been looking at in the last 3 to 5 years, so the academic and university led research, which is fantastic, but a little bit snoozy in places, is actually the rise of outsourcing. So so it's never been a better time for people who have got ex-corporate career sort of advice and history into taking that corporate advice into their own hands and creating their own business that delivers that advice. So I suppose in the old days it would have been more like a contractor would have been to a larger company. In essence, this is going to become, I think, a niche that's going to be able to be filled a lot more, because and you might be able to help me with some of your working examples here. I think that people that have historically employed people first off aren't going to. And I think what they're going to do is actually seek people with vast expertise. I mean, certainly in your case, in my case, not that we look at, obviously, because we've had a lot of work done, in terms of that we've got 25, 30 years experience in very specific niches. And I think that people now are going to say, well, actually, if I can get somebody with, 25, 30 years experience on a day rate with no commitment, and I can perhaps outsource to a freelancer, this is that political seismic change that you've been talking about, and the economic change is actually shifting more towards, it's going to be a huge advantage if you're a 1 to 3 person organisation over being maybe perhaps a 10 to 20 person organisation, because the work will devolve to you simply because of economics changing. People don't want the commitment. People don't want to put the outlay there. People want to be able to, like a tap, turn it on, switch it off. in terms of not having, as an employer, the overhead in case lockdown happens again, in case furlough happens again. And without getting into it too deeply, we're already in the fourth industrial revolution, which is the biggest change in over 300 years, much bigger than even mechanisation and industrialisation. So I think people need to be aware that it sounds a very future thinky thing to say, but you're actually experiencing it now. You know, we're going through it now. A pandemic just accelerates these things. Do you think from what you're seeing with obviously the increase in inquiries you're getting, that what I've just said is true?
Absolutely true. Insofar as that I've had clients who've come to me and they literally want me to continue something which they've actually unfortunately had to make someone redundant because of the pandemic. But their staff that they've already got do not have the time to be able to do the things that this person's no longer there to do. So I've been asked to go in one day a week to help this client out, just to bring it up to a speed where they're in a position where in 2 or 3 months' time they might be able to take someone back on part-time. We're out of this lockdown again. But they say that they've extended furlough to March. That has a double whammy with me. That is, well, if they've extended it till March, then does that mean that we might be in a further lockdown? Where does that place people? People, when they are furloughed, you know, have they got a job to go back to? Same thing happened to me, or haven't they? So it produces a hell of a lot of uncertainty with people. So for me, like I've said, I have my client who wants me in one day a week. I had another client who has asked me to relook at all of their contracts of employment because of furlough, because of the changes. And then I've had another client who said, because of COVID, I really need to relook at my health and safety policy. And someone I found that actually didn't even have one, which was a bit alarming.
I think when you start and it's just you and a laptop and a mobile phone, you might get away with it, but I don't advise it again, you know. No. But what I would say to you is, because you work in quite male-dominated industries, so your background is construction, and back in the day advising on extremely successful schemes in the prison service. I think there's something about industries that aren't diverse, that are male dominated, that have less capacity to change and pivot more quickly because they have less diversity. So what I mean by this is, I'm from engineering, from mechanical electrical engineering and radio broadcast software. And one of the key things that I used to see a lot in businesses when I was employed back in the day was the fact that the lack of diversity meant that there was a tunnel vision around the thinking. It was almost like a silo, you know, working down the funnel towards one very specific thought process. And for me, that was always a huge danger, and one that I used to, we used to point out when we looked at gap analysis, was to say, if we're all thinking the same way, then that's very, very dangerous. And there was and in male dominated businesses, there's no succession planning. So what tends to happen a lot is something like this happens and they just hit the wall, and they either go broke or it makes them, and there's not much in between. And I think what we might see is a lot of the people that are employing are going to have a lot of difficulty, whereas micro businesses, 1 to 3 to 5 people, are going to pick up the slack very quickly. So people say to me at the moment, there's no opportunity out there, it's all terrible. And I say, yeah, absolutely. I'm not without sympathy that people are losing their jobs left, right and centre. Hospitality it could be the end of hospitality as we know it. It's the end of retail as we know it. But then looking at the experiential retail that's happening in London with Liberty having a cinema in store, we're creating different experiences, and these have already been created. It's just that people are refusing to accept the death of something that is horrendously outdated and the rise of technological change and advancement. And also in male-dominated organisations, they don't believe in automation and they don't believe in digital. Because they just think it's for kids, and I've had that said to me. So it's very difficult to pivot quickly. There's no such thing as a quick win, and especially male-dominated organisations, it's very dangerous to have a singular place of thinking. And I think that's why your services are, an uptake is going to be phenomenal. And what I would say to people is, if you have the right niche, it's like everything, you will be very successful. But part of being successful is being part of a community that understands you as well. And I just wanted to touch briefly on, obviously you've been a member, thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have you as part of my community.
No, I can't thank you enough for the support and the no one can do anything on their own.
No.
And being part of Start Disruptors, I really feel an inclusive team, Phil, and I know that you are such an approachable person, and all of the people that I've met have been absolutely supportive and fantastic.
Yeah,
and I wish there were more networks out there like it.
Yeah, I think the thing is, when I set it up, what I wanted to actually create was probably the same sort of team environment that people would have had in corporate but don't have anymore. And that sort of, isolation and loneliness is very debilitating for people. So what I wanted to create was literally people coming from ex-corporate who've got a bit of knowledge, perhaps got a degree or a first or second degree, or that doesn't really matter. We'll help people that are clever and intelligent actually connect with one another. And that it was more about an ethos of connection and ensuring that everybody was okay. And it wasn't popular, and I don't think that people can replicate it, because they can't replicate the people in that community that have that same way of thinking. And whilst a single point of thinking can be bad in business, I think in startup, for us as a community, it's a good thing, because we're very much led on how we can help and support people. So in terms of being a member, can you just sort of speak briefly about what makes us different and why you think it's good value for money in terms of what you've received so far?
I think it's really good value for money, and very inclusive insofar as everyone's approachable. Everyone's thought process and ethos on business as a whole is very, very similar. We all want to find different ways of doing things. We all are very forward thinking, but we all go together with that in a positive way. So, and with a little bit of a laugh. So the lovely part is that we're not all, oh my God, it's really serious. It's professional, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So all of us are doing what we really find is fun. And to have a business of your own and to have goals set for your future, which are things that are fun and what you really truly want to have in your life, is absolutely crucial to success in business. That's how I look at it. And all of the people in Startup Disruptors feel the same. And it all comes out when we're networking, it all comes out like that. We're all having a bit of a laugh. We're having a bit of a joke about things. We're all discussing up the way that and the solutions that we're finding, which is absolutely brilliant. And to actually share those solutions to problems that we all have, but lots of networks don't actually talk about those problems. Is crucial to the growth of every business, because everyone comes across a problem of some sort at some time, and to be able to actually discuss that and to get solutions, or go, oh, don't worry about it, I can help you with that, and just text me, give me a ring, and then to everyone put all of their contact details down at the end of a session. To me, that is absolutely invaluable. You can't make it better. And for me, that's been lovely. I just go, oh, got someone else I can call. So, or annoyed.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you've had a positive experience, and I think that's a lovely note to end on us, because otherwise you and I we could just talk all day.
Forever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what we do. That's what we do best. So Sarah, thank you so much for your help today and for giving us a little bit of feedback about your business. Do you just want to let everybody know where they can find you and how to find you, either through a web address or through social media? What's the best way to contact you, or a phone number? Somebody else has done that. It's fine.
Okay, my web address is www.sbbusinessservices.com. You can find me on Facebook at SB Business. You can find me on LinkedIn under Sarah Jane Black, and email, which is sarah@sbbusinesssupport.com.
Yep, If you want any more information about either Startup Disruptors as a community, whichever platform this is going to be ruthlessly plastered all over in terms of social media presence, then add your comments in at the bottom. If you want Sarah Jane to contact you, or you want me even to contact you, then I'm happy to, or find me on LinkedIn under Becky Lodge, Little Kanga Limited. Startup Disruptors is a brand owned and operated by Little Kanga Limited, in case anybody's confused about how it's all related. But yeah, it's been great to see everybody today, and thank you for watching. If you do have any questions as well, I'm sure Sarah Jane and myself would love to hear those. So please don't be backwards in coming forwards. If there's anything that you want to ask about business or the future of business, or what we think is going to happen in the next few months and coming years, or if you want to share with us your thoughts, that would be absolutely brilliant to get some feedback as well. Any of the topics that you'd like to see, then please do let us know, and I'm sure we'll be back on camera on Zoom soon, actually discussing some more stuff with Sarah Jane. But thank you so much in the meantime, and have a great week, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.